The ceasefire between Iran and the US is on shaky ground ahead of these talks in Pakistan, really because of two main issues: Lebanon and the Strait of Hormuz. Israel has continued its deadly strikes in Lebanon. It says is aimed at the Iran-backed militant group Hezbollah, carrying out several attacks in the south of the country. There are still conflicting views over whether Lebanon is included in this ceasefire, which has been brokered by Pakistan. Iran and Pakistan say it is, but the US and Israel insist Lebanon isn't included in this two-week truce. US President Donald Trump asked Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to scale back its attacks in Lebanon after hundreds of people were killed there since the ceasefire began. Benjamin Netanyahu has agreed to begin talks with Lebanon in Washington next week. He says these will be focused on disarming Hezbollah, but it's important to note that the Lebanese government does not have control over Hezbollah. Here in Israel, this has been widely seen as a move that has come after US pressure, because according to the polls, most Israelis support continuing the war in Lebanon. So that leaves Benjamin Netanyahu trying to balance public opinion with keeping one of his closest allies happy, as President Donald Trump pushes hard for a deal to end the war. The US president is sending some of his most senior figures to these talks in Islamabad, including his Vice President JD Vance, making it one of the highest level meetings between US and Iranian officials in nearly 50 years.
Look, we're looking forward to the negotiation. I think it's going to be positive. We'll, of course, see. As the President of the United States said, if the Iranians are willing to negotiate in good faith, we're certainly willing to extend the open hand. If they're going to try to play us, then they're going to find that the negotiating team is not that receptive. So we're going to try to have a positive negotiation. The President has gave us some pretty clear guidelines, and we're going to see.
Joining JD Vance in the Pakistani capital is expected to be the US envoy Steve Witkoff, as well as President Donald Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner. On the Iranian side, leading that delegation for these talks is expected to be the Iranian parliamentary speaker, Mohammad Halabaf. Now, he has posted on social media just hours before these talks are expected to begin that previously agreed measures, a ceasefire in Lebanon and the release of Iran's blocked assets, must be fulfilled before these negotiations can even begin. It's unclear whether any members of the IRGC, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, which control Iran's military, will be in attendance, but Iran will be using its biggest bargaining chip in these talks, the Strait of Hormuz. Iran has not reopened the critical shipping lane despite expectations under the ceasefire it would, which has frustrated President Donald Trump. It's also now proposing a multi-million-dollar toll for ships to pass through. This could also give Iran leverage in its discussions over other difficult issues expected to be discussed, including its nuclear and ballistic missile programs. So there's a lot riding on these talks, and it's not just the prospect of regional peace, because the future of the Strait of Hormuz will have a huge impact on global trade and the world's economy, and Iran knows it.